Welcome to the Pharma Voice Editor's Take video series, filmed live at the 2013 DIA Annual Meeting in Boston, hosted by Taryn Grome, editor of Pharma Voice. In this episode, Taryn meets with Ray Hill, president, inVentiv Clinical.
Ray, welcome to the 2013 DIA Editor's Take video program.
Thanks, Taryn.
You seem to be building a fundamentally different model than the other CROs with a broad range of clinical and commercial capabilities.
Yep.
How is that model relevant to biopharmaceutical companies?
So we think we put together something very, very interesting, which starts with a best-in-class CRO, but also combines that with a broad range of commercial capabilities to help launch and optimize the value of products. In my job, I spend a lot of time talking to clients, and I like to think about issues from their shoes. So take a biotech CEO. If you think about a biotech CEO, I'd argue that they care about exactly two things. Number one, they want to get the best possible label. And number two, they want to get that label in the shortest amount of time. Now, the current model to commercialize a product is a biotech CEO will go to Big Pharma and they'll get a royalty stream, typically 8%. Fundamentally, we'd argue that's not fair. We want the biotech CEO to get more of the value. And so we put together a new model to help achieve that. We've got a best-in-class CRO to help the biotech commercialize the product. We've got consulting capabilities which can help with the launch planning and pricing and market access for a drug. We've got PR and advertising and digital capabilities which are crucial to optimize the value of that drug. And then we've got the world's largest contract sales organization. Put that together, we can offer the biotech CEO a fundamentally different value proposition than simply licensing out the product and a chance to get more of the value than traditionally they would with a licensing deal. And we think that's pretty interesting. We're also looking at other areas that we think are pain points that can leverage both the commercial and the clinical capabilities. And I think one interesting area is the whole area of patient recruitment. Everybody knows that that's a big challenge today for pharmaceutical companies in conducting clinical trials. The statistics are something like 29% of time and money in a clinical trial are spent on patient recruitment. And think about the recent Tough study that came out, which showed that 10% of sites attract either 0 patients or 1 patient, so not a very cost-effective approach. We put together, and actually we're launching, in fact, at DIA today, a business called inVentiv Clinical Trial Recruitment Solutions designed to address those issues. It's putting together a world-class set of digital and social media capabilities, combined with the ability to target patients through our Adherus database that might be interested in a clinical trial, along with our CRO capabilities. And combined, we think that can build for a new model of patient recruitment and help address the pain point that pharma faces there.
Talking about patient recruitment, and I'm so interested to hear what you're doing there.
Sure.
Because patient recruitment has been a huge bottleneck in the drug development continuum for forever. And in any other industry, if this had been something that was a stopgap, it would have been solved a long time ago. So why hasn't it been so far? And is what you're doing now going to try to overcome these barriers?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons. I mean, probably one of the single biggest reasons is the fact that the process is split between the sponsor, the site, and the CRO. So you have multiple parties involved in the process. Second, access to patients must go through a physician, so it's not very easy. So I think the fact that these pieces have been disconnected has not helped to accelerate patient recruitment. Where we're trying to go is to identify specific technologies that can help address some of those issues, both with patients and also with investigators. So you may have seen in the last couple of weeks, we've signed 2 or 3, I think, pretty interesting technology deals that get at some of those pieces. One example is a company called MyTrust. And what MyTrust has, very interesting company based in California, but they have an electronic informed consent. So that actually makes things a lot easier for the patient because the patient can simply read on the iPad, and if they have a question about a particular word, things like that, a patient can get more details on what that means. It also helps the pharma company because the pharma company can actually query all of those forms and understand where patients are signing and where they're not signing. So that's kind of one example. A second example on the investigator side is with a company called MyTrust, and they built a series of behavioral attributes of physicians, investigators, and you have your online presence basically in the market. They look at that versus what are the ideal attributes of investigators that a pharmaceutical company would like to attract for a clinical trial. So a very interesting model. And then the third one, which gets again at this whole area of patient recruitment, is a company called Patients Like Me, based in Cambridge, Mass. They have a database of 200,000 patients, and we have a relationship with them, which we're just signing now, which gives us access to those patients on an anonymous basis, and in turn, we can help them participate in clinical trials. So we think some of those technology partnerships will really be helpful for addressing these issues in patient recruitment.
I think it's exciting stuff. You guys have done a tremendous amount of acquisitions in the past year to 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you still recognize some gaps within the company that you are still looking to fill?
Yeah, no, we have some gaps. I mean, we have some geographic gaps on the clinical side, for example. We're building our presence in Asia. We signed in January a deal with Bell Medical Solutions in Japan to be our exclusive partner in the Japanese market. That was actually quite a crucial gap that we filled. And we're always looking at new technology partnerships on the digital and social media side in particular. So what we're trying to do is be thoughtful about how to fill those gaps. We think we have most of the pieces in place, but we're looking at key pieces where we think we can add value to the balance of companies that we have within the inVentiv family. But we see as the critical aspect is having both the clinical piece and the commercial piece, because together we think we can reduce drug development cycle times and get at a lot of the issues that our clients have faced with R&D productivity turn.
You guys really can go from the bedside to the blockbuster. And what does that mean as a culture for your company? Because it's got to be exciting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, we're creating a new business model. And I think, Taryn, anytime you create a new business model, that really is an exciting place to be. And you really feel that. You walk into an office and you just kind of feel that vibe. And that really is what makes it, I think, a pretty exciting place to be and an exciting place to work. And, we're fortunate that we're in a growing market. And we're fortunate that we're putting together a model that is relatively unique in that growing market that really addresses some of the pain points that pharma has.
Well, I want to thank you very much for sharing your insights on this exciting new business model. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, Darren. Appreciate it.
Additional Editors Take videos, as well as podcasts, white papers, webinars, and more, are available in the resources area at www.pharmavoice.com.